I'm Anita. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm just going to be making a simple pair of earrings. Actually, I'm making two pairs of earrings with some beads from my stash. And you can modify this any way you like with any beads that you have in your own stash. Very simple, couple of different earrings I thought I'd make today. For tools, you're going to need some wire cutters and some bail making pliers. And I've got two different flat nose pliers, one with a skinnier nose and one with a wider nose, and some round nose pliers. You're going to need some earring hooks. I'm using two different colors, gold-plated brass and silver-plated stainless steel. I've got a couple of rectangular shell beads. These are kind of flat with a hole running down the middle. And then I've got some Sodalite gemstone beads in 6mm and 8mm. And then I've got two very long eye pins. These are about 3-inch length, and two ball head pins about 1.5-inch length. And then for my gold findings, my hooks, and then I've got two flathead pins, and the diameter of this flathead is pretty thin. You want to make sure that it will fit through your dagger bead. So we're going to have two flathead pins, two eye pins in the gold tone, and I've got two, I think those are 6mm Carnelian rounds, and I've got 6 dagger beads here. And these are a single hole dagger bead, and you can use any size that you have. So let me clear my area and we'll get started. Alright, to start our earring, I'm going to use the larger bead here and take my ball head pin, put that on my bead. Now I'm going to take my flat nose pliers and I'm going to bend this 90 degrees just above the bead, about like that. And I'm going to cut my wire to about 1/4 inch or so. Now I'll take my round nose pliers and I'm going to make a loop. So you want your pliers flush with your wire, and I'm going to turn that towards me. Then I'm going to flip my pliers and gently roll this until you get your loop to close, like this. It's not the best loop, but just do the best you can. Try to get that centered. So there's my bottom bead right there. Now I'm going to take my eye pin, take that through my shell bead, like that. Now I'm going to clip this wire. First I want to turn this. I'm going to turn that perpendicular so it's easier to see. And I'm going to bend this 90 degrees down like that. Also cut about 1/4 inch down or so. And I'm going to use this piece for my next step. So I want to make a loop right here using my round nose pliers. Twist that towards me. Then I'm going to go to the tip of my pliers and bring that loop to a close. Now I want to make sure my loops are centered, and I also want to make sure that they're the same direction. So you want to make sure that they are the same direction, like this. Now I'm going to make another eye pin with my leftover wire so nothing goes to waste. So I'm going to take my flat nose, come down about 1/4 inch or so, bend this 90 degrees, take my round nose, make a loop at the end, And that way I have another eye pin using leftover wire. Okay, so now I'm going to take my other bead here, my smaller bead, put that through my custom-made eye pin. I'm going to bend this 90 degrees just above the bead. Now I'm going to clip this wire about 1/4 inch down. Take my round nose pliers. Probably need to cut a little bit more. Now I'm going to make my loop by rolling this towards me, then bringing the smaller part of my pliers to make the loop come to a close. Center that over my bead, and then take your flat nose and make sure your loops are facing the same direction, like that. Alright, so now I'm going to assemble. I'm going to take my flat shell and open one of the ends by twisting towards me, and I'm going to put my bead with the ball tip on it, put that through here, and close my loop. Now I'm going to open the other side of my shell bead, put my smaller bead on, close that loop, and now I'm going to open the other end of my bead right here and put my earring hook on and close the loop. A very simple pair of earrings, just using the beads in your stash. And there you have a beautiful pair of Sodalite gemstone and shell bead earrings. Very simple, but very pretty. And you could embellish this if you wanted. You could add some little flower caps at the end, or a spacer bead if you wanted to. I just thought I'd keep it real simple today. So there you have your beautiful Sodalite and shell earrings. Aren't those cute? And these measure about 1.5 inches in length. Not too bad. Alright, so let's make our next pair of earrings using the carnelian beads. Alright, for our next pair, we're going to be doing this different technique here. I have a head pin because I had some jump rings I was going to use to do this first step, but the wire was too thick. So I'm going to make a jump ring using this head pin because it's the perfect diameter for my bead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off my head pin right here. And I'm going to make a jump ring using my bail making pliers. And I want the jump ring to be rather large, so I'm going to be using the very large size here. So I'm going to put my wire in between like that, and I want my large diameter on top. And now I'm going to take my flat nose pliers and I'm going to rotate my pliers and hold it with my other tool like this to get it to go around. Now I'm going to twist, reposition my wire, and continue to wrap. Now I'm going to rotate my plier, continue pulling this, and keep rotating and pulling until it completely meets the other side of my head pin, like that. So there is my jump ring. What I'm going to do now, because I want this to be rounded, let's see if we can get that to flatten a little more. Just pull on that a little bit. Okay, so from here I'm going to take my wire cutters and I'm going to cut right down the center, right there. And that's going to take the excessive wire out, and I'm going to just mold this to my jump ring. So there's my jump ring. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my dagger beads on this jump ring. So in order to do that, I'm going to open it up by twisting this just enough to get my dagger beads on. And I'm going to put my dagger beads on one at a time. And if you have jump rings already this diameter and that are thin enough that your dagger beads will go through, then you don't, have to do it the hard way like I did using the head pin. But you can use a head pin and make your own large jump ring if you need to. So from here I'm going to close my jump ring just by bringing it back together like that. Now I'm going to bring my dagger beads so that the point where the wire joins is with my dagger beads covering that up. So that's what you should have. And now for my next step, I'm going to take my carnelian round, put that on my eye pin, bend my wire about 90 degrees just above the carnelian stone, like that. Now I'm going to cut this with a long enough stem to do my loop. Now I'm going to take my round nose pliers, flushed with my wire, and turn, and keep bringing that to close my loop. And this didn't come out quite like I wanted, but give you the general idea for the technique. So there's my carnelian stone with the eye pins, and they are facing the same direction. You want to make sure that they are parallel with each other. So now I'm going to open one end and put that on my very large jump ring like that. Close your loop. Now I'll take the other end and put my earring hook on and close the loop. Very simple pair of earrings. And let me get the mate to that. So there are our carnelian earrings. Very simple to make. Very different. Look like a little phoenix wings. And just using beads from my stash. So you've got a lot of possibilities for color combinations. You could use different colors of rounds and dagger beads to really make it look abstract, or you could even use 3 different color dagger beads if you didn't have enough of the same color. So here's what we made today. Very pretty, using gemstone sodalite and shell beads, carnelian browns, and dagger beads. Just beautiful. So there you have it. I hope that you've enjoyed this video today. Short and sweet. I'll have links in the description box where you can get some of these materials. I may not have all the links, but I'll share what I have with you. If you're not a subscriber, I hope that you do subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you're alerted when I upload new videos. And for those of you that have subscribed, I really appreciate you coming back to watch my videos and sharing the link. I really appreciate it. I also have a website where I sell my own jewelry. You'll see a link to that in the description box as well. So check it out because I do have sales on and off throughout the year. So I hope you all have a wonderful week. Happy beading, and I'll see you next time.